Hey guys. Oop. Hello, hello, hello. Oop. This is an impromptu live, and I hope you can hear me okay. Now, not a lot of you are used to me doing lives at all that are like actually live. Um, so it's kind of secret. It's like a secret live. Ah, so just settling in here. What do I want to say? Got my laptop as usual in front of me and down a little. So you'll see me looking down because again, as somebody said, I should put a picture, tape it to the back of my iPhone, which is right there, and like just tape like a little face there, or maybe a celebrity. I should just tape their face so I'm talking to them. That'll be kind of nice. Otherwise, like I said, I'm staring at the back of my phone, which is really weird right now. So, wow, hey guys. I'm gonna actually take you outside in a little bit, but but warning, I'm using something called StreamYard, and I think it's okay. I don't think it has to be plugged in, right? So my phone is plugged into my laptop, which is plugged into the wall. And I think I can detach and just take the phone outside with like my little, it's not a selfie stick, but with my tripod. So I'm gonna do that in a bit. So yes, hi, it's Viv, Quiet Broad Abroad, and I am doing this from Albania. Yes, I am actually here. I'm actually there. I'm actually here. All right, so say hi if you're just joining. And I'm not going to give an apartment tour. I think I will include that in a later video. Like, um, yeah, once I've like moving out or have moved out. Um, yeah, staring at Albanian money, which is very confusing. So hey guys, I see the numbers going up. So this is totally a Q&A. Hi Dee, over from my other channel. Hey, nice to see you. Dee, are you actually interested in, because, I remember you, but I don't remember specifically, refresh me. Are you interested in moving abroad or slow travel? Those are my two main topics. Or are you just being nice and you're like, I want to see what Viv is up to? Let me know. Let me know. Hi, Jackie. Jackie Rosier. Hello. And Dee Walker is here from my Yoga Bliss Dance channel. Let me close up some tabs. Are you like me and you have like, not 40, that would be an exaggeration, 15 tabs open because you're like, oh, I'm going to go back to that. They say that's not good, but I mean, who cares what they say? All right, I'm checking because I am supposed to meet. Um, I'm supposed to have a Zoom call, but I'm waiting for the person to wake up because guys, I think I'm 8 hours ahead of California time, so it's a big difference. So for me, the day's underway, and I'm like, oh, I haven't heard from them, and then I'm like, it's morning. Okay. So I will occasionally check my email and just see if this person has booked a appointment with me. We're going to talk about her travel like plans. She's got some travel questions or whatever. So really give me your questions. There's no silly question, and I will take you outside and you can hold on. I keep wanting to use the laptop. You can kind of see, hold on, where's my finger? Yeah, there's the ocean there. I can't get it to come in brighter. And you guys, it's so weird. I first read that the iPhone, do you guys know your iPhone automatically has AI built in, obviously, and it automatically changes your pictures because I was trying to take a picture of a sunset and the sunset was very pink. It was a beautiful soft pink, you guys, and the phone was making it. And I know you could fiddle with filters, or not even filters, but really what do you call that? Not resolution, but whatever is the amount of light. It just made it orange because it's like, oh, it's a sunset, and it just kept bringing it into the orange spectrum and it looked fine, but the actual sunset was pink and it was beautiful. Couldn't capture it because the AI was fighting me. The phone was like, no, this is a sunset. Sunsets have orange tint, and that's what we're going to add. But please, yeah, hi, need to see. Yes, I know, with the tabs open, right? It's insane. So I'm answering to you down here because I'll show you guys what I'm seeing. I don't think that gives away anything. Let me see. Is there anything weird on my, I don't think there's anything weird on my computer. Um, there is that green dot, you guys. Why is that green dot in the corner? It's not my camera, but yeah, I'm seeing, this is how I see my screen. Oh, hold on. Hold on. You guys got all crooked. I'll show I'll show you how I see my screen. And this is a good test. If we get cut off now, then I'll know. Okay, the thing is still plugged in. Hold on here. Hold on. So I don't know if you guys can see. Like I see, so I'm seeing your comments and I see myself there. So D says, I'm being nice because I like and appreciate you. I already live in slow travel, but you can always get more information. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So you are already out. Yeah, I forgot. I have so many people, D, now um reaching out to me. And what makes it hard for me is the screen name versus the name I may know you by. Super common YouTuber problem. But that's great. That is really great. Oops. My internet also, so again, please, questions specifically about Albania or about slow travel. This is completely impromptu, so I'm totally open to what you are interested in. If it's a great question, maybe I'll make a video about it. The other thing I was going to say though is, guys, it's making my skin tone redder than it is, which is interesting to me. It's like it's got some setting of like richness. I'm just going to saturate colors, and I'm like, just show the color. Not the background though. I definitely have the background on blur, but on me, yeah, it's making my skin tone redder and more intense. So it's interesting. Very interesting. So Albania questions. Is it cut off right below the eyeglasses? Right above? Yeah, right above. Yeah, here. I'm going to flip you guys around then. This is what I'll do so that the phone, yeah, the phone does, the camera's now more up here. Okay. Nope. That made it worse. I turned so the camera is on the higher part. All right, hold on, guys. Let me do something here. Let me do something. I'm gonna take it off of portrait. I'm gonna do center stage. And it is on main. Okay, back up. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna cut off my hair. Part of it is I'm also using the audio on the phone, whoever mentioned that. And so I don't want the phone too far. The phone is already 2 feet away from me. So I don't want to put the phone further. So that's kind of the view you get. Let me do ultra wide. Okay. That's ultra wide. And this is like main. Okay, main is closer. Let's do ultra wide. That's good enough, guys. And the wall outlets are in the strangest places relative to where you would place a sofa. It's hilarious. Like, it, I guess it makes sense in a weird way. And they don't know what size sofa you're going to place. But anyway, questions. Jackie, yes, you can see my whole face. I hope you're happy. Nidra C, yes. Questions about Albania? Let's see. Or slow travel, leaving the US without a lot of, bureaucracy. So Deborah says, good morning from DC. I'm thinking about moving to Albania, Vlore. Yeah, ask me questions. So I am in Vlora right now, Deborah. I am in Vlora. So please ask me questions just to focus the conversation, and because it's alive. So in real time, it's nice to answer spontaneously rather than me like, okay, this is what I want to tell you about Vlora. But I will make videos like that, just so you know. And I'm going to bring the camera down just a little. Probably cut off. Look, I have enough hair that, okay, yeah, that's good. So Deborah, yeah, type in some questions. Taking off my it can be 90 degrees, guys, and I'll have like wool socks, not wool. I'll have socks on. I'm a socks on all the time kind of girl. So yeah, I was bored and I had energy. I felt rested. Definitely questions about Vlora. And I've also been in Tirana. So questions about Tirana and about Vlora would be absolutely welcome. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna contradict Atara a little bit. We joked about it because I'm like, I think she replied, "We're not gonna do an online beef." I said, "No, we're too mature for that." But Atara um, literally was an impromptu guest on my first live on this channel, right? And she, at the time, it's really weird, you guys. I'm not even going to get into it because it is so crazy. I think I got into it for my channel members, but she was in Vlora when I was in Tirana. Anyway, she didn't particularly like Vlora, and I think I can say this. It's my opinion. There were a couple of reasons. I think she missed some things about Vlora. She admitted on there that she stayed in a lot. She kind of slept a lot. She was resting, which is totally understandable. Again, many women, and especially Black women, say once they're out of the US, literally for like 2 months, they're just resting. Okay. Just letting you know, whether you're a Black woman or not, you're probably going to want to rest. If you're coming from America, you're going to be tired. But the Black women specifically are like, yeah, we needed deep rest. So I'm asking her things about Vlora, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't see that." I was like, "Oh, did you go to the old town? And did you go to this other area that's more local, that's really nice?" And she's like, "No, I didn't see that." So I do want to report on Vlora. And I have to say, I will tell you the truth. At first, I really didn't like it. Even though I came just for relaxation and I wanted that ocean view. I'm not a swimmer. I'm not going to swim in the ocean, but I wanted to see it and be able to walk by it, which I think also Atara knew she wanted. Um, but I didn't love it, Vlora, at first, but it grows on you. So that's something I really want to say. Give it a week, or I would say even two, and go to the different parts of it. I made a mistake, and not, think a couple of people are doing this. I thought Vlora was really just this beachfront. So it's like a curved, it's like a bay. It's a beautiful bay, and then these mid-rise buildings, I'd say maybe between fourth floor and like 11 or 10 floors, okay? All along the waterfront, just a bunch of buildings in a row. And I don't tend to like that style. Um, but, and then there are mountains. That's why I assume that was all of Vlora, Albania, I'm talking about, right? Because you can see the mountains are right there, and it looks like there's not much up there in the mountains. It turns out in the middle, think of like a wine glass. The stem of the wine glass goes way back, and there is a whole other neighborhood. It's more local. And then the old town is kind of back there on the stem of what would be like a wine glass shape, and the base of the wine glass is more the shore. I hope that was helpful. I'm gonna look at your questions now. So Nidra just asked, how is, yeah, and I did see that, and I kind of went on a Vlora thing there. So yeah, Dee says, are you going to stay the winter? Great question. Um, great question. And Jackie, that was 342. So yeah, hopefully my glasses are not still cut off. Is it boring? I don't think so. Listen, I see this. I wanted to do the live. Seriously, this is the truth, and it surprised me. Um, the American expat community, I think it's actually pretty strong. I have been into Cafe 1912. Now, if you're researching Vlora, you should already know about this. It's an American dude. I'm 99% sure he's American. And his wife, and he runs a cafe. I'm telling you, it's like a community center. Hey, if you're watching, I'm blocking his name. Tony. What's his channel name? Let me look it up. So I was in there, and the day I went in, you guys, it was like an American community center for like Americans in Albania who have questions. Yeah, Adam, no, okay. I actually ran into Adam, who's at Albania. Check out his channel. Tony of Narrowgate. Narrowgate. He is here in Vlora, and he has a cafe called I think it's 1912. I'm dyslexic. So I'm not joking. That numbers really don't stick. And then it was just filled with Americans. So there's a strong expat community. I wouldn't say it's boring, but it depends on what you like. So Nidra, ask me more specifically, what if you like ocean and you like sun, because the weather has been fabulous. I think I had 4 great days, but I think it literally was obviously the season, meaning it was great those days and then it just broke and it's just been sunny since. So I think, that was early April, and then it's just been, even if it's overcast, it then gets beautifully sunny. I would already say come shoulder season, okay, because it's already hot. And I do think the weather is shifting in Albania. I've heard people talking about how hot it is. And again, it's April as I'm filming this. And I would say you can already swim. I'm sure the water's cold, but it's warm. I would say I think it's hit 70. I'm not 100% sure, guys, because I'm not really that temperature focused. Jackie says, what made you choose Albania? Great question. Wanted to I'll cover the Vlora quest first. Black US retiree expats in Albania. If so, how long have they lived there? Yeah, great question. I would say, so you guys, so seriously, again, my channel is focused on women over 50, okay, of backgrounds. But of course, specifically as a woman, I have to definitely address these questions. And then just as an American, I give you good advice because I do know if you come from America, we have a certain mindset, no matter like what. There's some things we take for granted. So I'm just saying I can give more to an extent. And also what I'm seeing some other YouTubers don't. If you a lot of YouTubers are staying as a tourist, but they're not staying long enough to tell you kind of really from experience what doesn't work or what's difficult. So that is something I can provide, especially if you're a budget or moderate traveler. And I really mean that. So I've met three Black women. One woman is here with a child. I'll just leave it at that. And actually, two of the women were here with children of different ages. One woman that we had such a great time. We just hit it off. We're walking around the city. She was amazing. What I want to tell you again, specifically is that these two women that I met, so if you find the right expat, they're going to right away, they're going to want to help you. And I really mean that. I was really touched. I was walking, you guys, with my tripod trying to make nice pictures for you, and it was not working. And, this woman came up to me and just said something to me like, oh, were you on our bus trip? And I was like, no. Well, what bus trip? Because she asked me about a town, guys, that I was like, wait, did I go to that town? It was just confusing. But clearly, and we just had a conversation for like 45 minutes till she's like, okay, I got to continue my run. And, so she's lovely if she's watching this. It was so nice to meet you. And I'm sure I will, see you again. So what I'm saying is, I think specifically for Black Americans, and you're definitely going to find, when I walked into Cafe 1912, I've met Black folks here, Hispanic folks I didn't get to talk to as much. And like I said, truly, and I really mean this is an important thing for everybody watching me, which is going to be funny. Once you're American outside America, you can feel it. People from all different backgrounds were in that cafe talking kind of as Americans about the problems, being ripped off, renting. So strangely enough, when you leave America, it becomes more important that you're American, not your ethnicity or class, to a great extent. That's what I found. And I think that's beautiful. Okay. I really do. And I noticed that like 20 years ago. And I won't share that story. Anyway, let me know what you think about what I'm saying. So these two women that I met, one woman immediately took me and showed me like the best place to shop. You guys, there's like a Target. It's not a Target, but it's a store that I would never have found. Huge. It has everything that I didn't think Albania would have. And I was like, oh my God, like huge housewares, groceries. It had like a butcher in it. It had a cheese section and it had like dishes and small appliances, and it was everything. It was like probably a Target or a Walmart in Vlora. So she took me there, and then I was like, well, I need sneakers. And she's like, we got to go here. And I'm like, you should write a little tour book, an ebook about Flora. And she just laughed. I'm like, no, you're like, because I mentioned four different things, guys. And she's like, you got to go here for that. Oh, go here for that. Go here for that. Go here for that. And the other woman who I said brought her child with her, adult child, she also, in that 45 minutes, say half hour that we talked, she gave me, I mean, everything I said, I was like, oh, I got a lawyer. Oh, I got this. And I was like, okay, let me get a pen. Let me get, because I'm old fashioned, or let me get my notes. So I do think that there's definitely a small but very engaged Black American community here, as well as all different. I would say I haven't seen. I went up to this woman in the store. I just knew she was American, which is kind of funny. She hadn't said anything. She's literally looking at frozen peas. And I'm like, excuse me, something. And she turns around. She's American. She starts telling me the restaurant I have to go to that's low cost and the food is really good. And she's like, they're not going to be able to keep those prices low. You better go. And she was right, guys. I went. I know I'm rambling, but when I tell you this was the best fish, a whole fish caught out of the sea that day, grilled by this young man who I found out he is a trained chef because I was talking to the waitress, and she's like, "That's my boyfriend." I'm like, "Oh," and I went back a second time, and I rarely do that in a short time. I went back. I was like, "I'll have that same thing: grilled veggies with this fish that was like charred, so good with the balsamic." Incredible. Anyway, now to your questions. Now that I've told you, I've spilled my guts about Vlora, and let me take you outside. Let me, hold on. Okay, I'm going to unplug the phone. You guys. Oh, okay. I have not lost you guys. So no, the phone's unplugged, and I have unplugged the laptop. Okay, unplugged the laptop. You guys are still with me. My fear, guys, is that if I step out on the balcony, I might lose internet, but we're going to try it. The good thing about StreamYard, why many, oops, looking in the wrong place, why many YouTubers use it is if the stream actually cuts off, I think it lets me restart the same stream. So let me just take you outside. All right, I got to scooch because I'm on this wide sofa here. That, all right, are they still seeing me? And here, I'm going to turn. Okay. So even when I step outside, I'll at least be able to see if you guys can see me. All right. So we're not doing an apartment tour. I always do this wrong. I want to complain to you guys about the European doors that open like 20 different ways. It's so annoying. Okay. You guys can still see me because I can see myself on there. All right. So let me show you the ocean. And I've got my stuff drying. Don't judge. Okay. I want to hear it. Let me turn you around. So it's going out to that direction. Hopefully. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is great because I can see what you're seeing here. And then I'm going to drop down just for people's privacy or whatever. And then I think you see me really close. And then looking at there. Oh, and somebody's that hang gliding, guys. Do you see that? Oh, wait. Let me check if you can see that. I don't know if you saw that. Can you see? Hold on. You probably can't see a dude because it probably was a dude. A dude was landing like hang gliding or something. It's not quite paragliding. But yeah, the doors that open like 5 different ways. Very annoying. I just want a door to open like one way. But you've got like the tilt top, you've got the regular open, and then I think on some there's like a weird swivel, which is really annoying. Well, that was fun. I hope you saw stuff. Let me know if you saw stuff. Okay. This all that yoga comes into play here. Oop. decades of yoga. And then I'm going to look at your questions in a second. So if you have any questions, okay, and then plug the phone back in. All right, tell me if my head's totally cut off again. That actually happened in my video that I just made about my toxic professor job. I wasn't going to redo it. It was a really hard video. Okay, come back. There we are, you guys. And I noticed that, like, by the end of the video, it was this. Oh, God. All right, let's look at your questions. So if you're just joining, I did just share a lot about Vlora from my sort of unique perspective. I would definitely say there's a strong overall expat community, and I definitely met, I only have met Black women so far of African Americans. I have not met, oh, that's not true. That is not true. Actually, I met a couple who have a channel. Hold on, guys. And they are filming about Albania. I didn't write it down. Very nice couple. They were from the Midwest, and he was African American. And we taught. It was funny because he confirmed something I'm not going to share on this channel, but I was ripped off here in Vlora. And it was really upsetting to me. I'm not going to name the store for a variety of reasons, okay? And it was really upsetting. I had to go back into the store. And it turns out, again, I will not name the store, but I was not the only one who had a negative experience with this particular store. And I brought a male with me because it was a situation where it felt like a male would be necessary. Ladies, you know what I mean. And men who have sisters, and you know how. It's like the car dealership thing or the car repair, where if you're a woman, they're like, oh, this is a mess. You're going to need thousands of dollars of repair. And then if you bring a man with you, even if he knows nothing about cars, the repair is like, oh, yeah, we got to fix that. Yeah. So that's what happened to me in Vlora, as much as I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to go into detail. Like I said, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. So yes, I talked a bit about Vlora. Questions are, being ripped off did really upset me. I went home and I saw a charge on my my account. Guys, and you know I'm on a budget, and many of you, everybody's on some sort of budget, okay, except for Jeff Bezos and his ilk, okay? Everybody's on a budget. Whatever your budget is, you don't want to go home and see a charge that is way more than you thought you were shown. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Jackie asked, what did make you choose Albania? Jackie, I'll get back to that. The person who asked about the Black retiree expats, great question. As far as I know, of the people I've met so far, one woman has been here through the winter, has been here for about 6 months. I have not met anybody Black American who has been here. Well, I've written to someone who was here a year, and then they said they left for tax reasons. That's all I'll share. I think they just felt the tax situation they felt was problematic. I don't know for sure that that's true, but she had been here for a year and loved it. So that's all I can share on that. I hear the water. Sorry, guys, to be really honest with you, since yesterday, and most of you know I'm a bit woo-woo, and I'm trying to reclaim woo-woo as a term. I actually like the word woo-woo. Filming that video, I started crying, and since then I've had a summer cold, which is the body sort of shedding, because I don't get colds in the summer, or really that much at all. So just been very mucusy, which in sort of holistic traditions often is your body cleansing. So, and also spring, going into spring, that can happen. So excuse me if I'm a bit sniffly. The water super hard on your skin and hair. I have not felt that, not more than usual, no. Let me think though. I will share with you guys, and I'm gonna make some videos about Vlora, okay? But I definitely had a power outage, two power outages. One was literally a minute, just psh, psh, came back on. One was about 20 minutes though. And my fear, and yeah, I really do want to share this with you guys. This is one of the problems at this point that can happen in Albania. All the good, but one of my greatest fears is getting stuck in the elevator because somebody else mentioned it. And then two people mentioned it, that you might be in an elevator in these like low rise buildings, the 8th floor, the 9th floor, the 10th floor, and the power goes out. And sure enough, like I said, the power was out. I would say it was 20 minutes. And then I heard a story, I won't say who shared it with me, in the cafe about someone who was stuck for 10 minutes. And they said something that I hadn't thought of that really further disturbed me. They said, well, it was dark. I'm thinking, as an American, I've actually never been stuck in an elevator. I was thinking emergency lights would go on. You guys tell me what you think. Like, is that, I thought, again, back in the US, that low emergency lights would come on, but this person shared that the light, it was black. They were in the elevators are small. They definitely are. And it was it was black. And I was like, oh no. And then to make it worse, you guys, somebody said, well, it would have been worse if there was somebody else with you. And I was like, okay, let's stop talking about this. Let's stop talking about being trapped in an elevator with another person and it's dark. So I don't know if the person was just turned on the light in their phone, but they definitely did say, again, and this is a credible person, that they weren't able to call out. And again, I assumed, well, I don't know, can I call somebody or would the alarm work? They didn't tell me about the alarm. I'm assuming since they were stuck for 10 minutes that an alarm didn't work. Okay, so that's all I can share with that. I'm going to move on, but if you have questions. But like I said, for me, if I choose to stay and I'm able to stay in Albania and, you know, it works well for me, I don't like high-rise buildings. I truly am in this place because I wanted that view. That was literally what drew me to Vlora. I wanted that ocean view. My spirit said it'd be very calming, very healing, and it is. But I don't like apartments. You know, I grew up in the Bronx in like a low-rise apartment, you know. 3rd floor, 4th floor was typical. There were no elevators in these buildings, okay? And yeah, so I do not want to live on upper high floors where I cannot walk them at my age with groceries if the elevator breaks, okay? Something for you guys to think about because I have been told that also elevators, there's this weird thing with elevators in Albania that sometimes if you rent an apartment but the person isn't paying the elevator usage fee, that your key won't work in the elevator. So just take that into account, okay? I'm gonna keep going. Yes, so Lucille, yeah. And Lucille, in fact, I mentioned early on, I'm waiting to hear when we're gonna hop on. So you have the link. You have the link to talk to me. So please hit that because I will actually literally stop the live because you have my calendar, right? So Lucille, if you're here, do that. Yeah, don't do it for like, oh, anyway, Lucille, you have the instructions and you have the link on how, but it's so funny to see the person I'm supposed to talk to. So hi, Lucille. So yeah, the pros and cons. Well, I'm definitely going to make videos about it because I want to go into more depth. But you guys asked great questions. There are 21 of you here now, and I've shared a lot. Again, just impromptu because that's what I like about a live. Like it's not the person didn't plan it out. It's not all structured and all fake. I'm just really speaking from the cuff, and I feel like you get a real genuine experience. So that's why I wanted to do this. Okay, guys, if you haven't yet, I have two plugs. One, watch my video about why the backstory. So why do I have, ooh, there goes another hang glider right over the building. You're not going to catch me doing paragliding, okay? They're sitting in a seat and all I see is like they're like holding like this and there's a over their head. I'm like, how, why are they not landing on the highway? Like what's keeping them? And I know they can steer. You will not catch me doing that. Okay. Just putting that out there. But if you come to Vlora, that's apparently a really big thing to do the para, whatever it is, gliding over the water and over the beach. And I see the people land on the sandy part of the beach. And I'm like, okay, you took your life into your hands. All right, whatever topic I was on. That's what's fun about lives is I get to interact with you and share. Norma says, I'm having difficulty sending message to you. I'm working on moving to Portugal, but we'll visit Albania. Norma, you shouldn't be having any difficulty. I can give my business email is quiet broad abroad, quiet broad abroad at Gmail. Okay. So I don't look at that email every day though, because it's relatively quiet, but I think it not relative. That's not really true. It forwards, I think. But anyway, just find me there. Coming on late because I know, oh, I know, Lucille. I actually, of course, I didn't mention your name, but here you are. I was like, I have an appointment. It's going to come up. I'm waiting for that to pop through, and I know they're probably just waking up. Yeah, because you're way, way away from where I am. I know I saw that. Eric Adams. Yeah, there was something shady with that whole thing with Eric Adams. Can I just say there was some political power play going on with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think overall, again, he's a politician. I'm sure there was some shady deals. That's not the question. That was weird, guys. Yeah, thank those of you who stuck around. Yeah, that was about a minute. The moment I mentioned Eric Adams and politics, the camera like disconnected. That was really weird. So I have to like leave the room. I tried something else that didn't work. I had to like leave and re-enter. So yeah, I'm definitely not saying he's not a crook. Whoever solo traveler. Um, yeah. I think there's always a little bit of greased palms. And I mean, that literally is almost the meaning of political, right? You make deals, but there was something very strange about how he was busted. And yeah, I guess he was removed. I'm not watching New York City politics because I don't live in New York anymore. So I'm not putting a lot of energy into it. But as an intuitive, something felt off. I'm not saying he was innocent by any means or that he didn't, I think it was, oh, he took money from Turkey. Let's look at all the different levels of people who are making deals right now. Okay, there was something truly political about how he was taken down that had to do with something that I think he just either wouldn't do or was or coerced or blackmailed, whatever. Anyway, let me go back to your questions. He's still, but yeah, he's into Albania. So yeah, good for him. Like I said, I think he's probably average to not worse than most politicians in terms of any backroom dealings. Again, just my intuitive sense. Um, so yeah, I just watched a video and I'm like, Albania? That is interesting. Like, why? Because as we know, a lot of people were getting, France. Because if you're a celebrity, you can just get somebody to sign and make you a citizen. Monaco, sure. You want to be in Paris? Sure. You want to become Italian? You and I don't have that. Okay. We don't have that. So let me go back to your questions. Oh my gosh. I am having fun actually. Let me go back to where I was before I got cut off. So yeah, Norma, you know how to send a message to me. Dee Walker had said, lovely. Yep. Yep. Albanian citizenship. Beautiful view. Yeah. I'm glad you guys were able to see, right? Those of you when I took you outside. Yeah, I apologize. There are electrical cuts, but when I got cut off earlier, it was just the camera disconnected for some reason, and I had touched nothing. I just started mentioning politics. Okay. Oh, Vlora is very walkable, Lucille. Very walkable. It's bigger than Saranda, though, from my research. And Saranda is supposed to be definitely more touristy. And that's why I went to Vlora, because Saranda, smaller, more touristy, and also more hilly. I'm kind of up in Vlora, and there are hills in Vlora, but the Lungomare, the beach area, it's flat. It's definitely walkable, but it's pretty big. It's big. There's one bus, you guys, that I've seen, like one bus. It runs along the Lungomare. Now, there may be one on the other side of the Lungomare, but it basically takes you into the center to a circle, and then it takes you back into the old town and a more local area that still looked very nice. If I were renting, well, I might rent back there, not right on the beach, since, as I said to you, I'm not particularly a beach swimming person. Anyway, Nikki says, thanks for these questions. Wow, you guys. Nikki, if you're still here after my tech difficulties, Nikki says, what is your monthly expense? Definitely under 1,500, Nikki. That's all I'm going to say. Definitely under 1,500. Um, I did say I wanted to plug some of the work and stuff that I do that I've created that can help you guys. Check out my Quiet Exit program. It's a master class. It's literally $30. Or if you become a channel member, we're going to have our first meeting later today. Click join below any video and you'll see what you get. But we are meeting 8 o'clock European time, CET time, tonight for our first session. It's $14.99 is the monthly membership. We'll meet twice a month. So do check that out. And if you're one of the first 30 women who join, you will get my Quiet Exit. Okay, there's somebody else up in the sky now. You'll get my Quiet Exit program for free if you're among the first 30 women to join. Right now, it's like three of us. So you'll get a lot of chatting time with me and support and help and all that and fun. What I noticed, the reason I started it partly is to help support the channel, but a lot of women already in the chat were like, oh, I'm going to be in Albania on this date. And like they were writing me already. So let's bring it into a group. So it is women only. So, you know, if you meet someone who maybe you think could be a travel buddy for France or Italy or Cambodia. So yeah, it's a community. And like I said, it would help support the channel. And it'd be a nice way for us to hang out privately. And it's called the Broad Circle. So you just click join and you're part of the Broad Circle or the Circle of Broads. All right, let me go through to more of your questions. So it's definitely under 1,500. Absolutely. Nikki, I absolutely believe you can live in Albania. Again, that's a very tough question because here's why, Nikki. I don't know, like I always say, I am definitely a bougie person, but I'm also at the same time strangely minimalist. This place that I'm in, oh my God, off season, and that's part of my planning, and I talk a bit about that in Quiet Exit in my program. If you travel, if you plan it off season, or you get a long-term rental, if you stay in Albania for like 6 months, I think at 6 months you can definitely get some deals. But certainly a year, you can absolutely, people are saying you can get rent for like $400. Okay. Not fancy. Maybe here it's not on the first line of the Lungomare because that's how they talk about it. They're like the first line, I think second line. I am literally probably on second line, but really technically I'm probably first. There are buildings that are in front of me, but I still have a view of the ocean as you guys saw earlier. This is just for 1 month. So yeah, that's a great question, Jackie. I think join the circle because that's also very broad. Do you mean in Tirana? Do you mean in Saranda? Do you mean in Pogradec, right? Pogradec is really low. It's going to be low. Do you mean in Shkoder? Okay. Again, those are the type of things we can talk about in the circle and just get more specific with your questions and just have a better discussion. But yeah, cost of living is very, my cost of living is definitely below 1,500, definitely below, let's say it's below 1,200. It's low. It's low. So I can share some of how I'm able to do that. Next question I'm pulling up. What advice would you give a single woman who has to work because Social Security is not enough to sustain her and has been looking to Albania? Absolutely. Listen, this is great. I mean, please invest $14.99 and join the circle. We can talk more tonight, okay? But my advice would be, have you been watching my channel? Social Security is not enough. I just made a video about that and that my 4 side hustles where I talk about what my side hustles are. If you were in the broad circle, I could more really pour into it. Yes, it's a group setting. It's not group coaching. It's literally $14, but I could talk more with you about that. But I'll share here what I can in this time because it's a great question. I think of all the countries you could move to, girl, if you want to be in Europe, Albania is your top option. Number one, Albania is your top option in terms of cost right now. Your other options, if you want to be in Europe, if you don't want to be in Southeast Asia or South or Central America, those are the other 2 cheap or inexpensive parts of the world. And I do not mean to use the word cheap. That was just because, again, it's not necessarily cheap it's not cheap to the locals in the same way that America is not cheap for many Americans. Okay. But Albania would be your top choice if you want to be in Europe. Other choices might be Romania, Bulgaria. Bulgaria doesn't appeal to me. Romania has some appeal. Those are the main ones, especially if you're on a low budget. Okay. AP 508. But job prospects, you're looking at it wrong. You do not want a job paying you in Albanian wages. It completely, or any low cost country, what you have to do, if you don't know, is it's location arbitrage, meaning you have to be paid in American or a higher paying country. So you either need a remote job, you need savings, or you need your own small business or consulting. Okay, that's all I'm going to say there. Join the broad circle and we can talk more, because it sounds like you're early stage, because you do not want a job that's going to pay you an Albanian lek. I believe, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, specifically an Albanian or someone who's been here, I believe the monthly salary is around 400 lek. What I understand at this early stage is that most Albanians, they're very family oriented and they live multi-generationally. The grandma is there, the daughter or son is there, and the grandbabies are there. That is absolutely normal, and that's how they're saving on costs. So I'm going to move on from there. I hope that was helpful. So you need savings or some sort of passive income, like a home in the US that you've rented, or you need your retirement, or you need your own consulting business or some sort of way to make money. Nidra says, oh yeah, probably you're talking about the, you said, oh hell nah. You're probably talking about the the elevator. Thank you, Melsky. Melsky says, I plan on taking the stairs. Listen, I take the stairs down. After the 20-minute lack of electricity, I was like, you need exercise anyway, and you care about your health. Take the stairs down. Going up, I literally say a prayer because I have a key, elevator key. I say a prayer. I'm like, stay positive, breathe. It's okay. It's a very short, it's just a few seconds. What are the odds? And I take it and I'm like, thank you, Jesus. And I get off. Okay. Guys, I'm really enjoying this live because you're asking great questions. Yep. Stairs only. Hi, good day, says Amenuf. Expat insurance. Yes, that's a real. Do you mean travel insurance or expat medical? Because sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. Melsky says a lot of adventure sports are excluded from your policy. Yes, excellent point. Listen, the people doing that, yeah. So yeah, if you break a leg because you were up in the air, unless you have paid specifically, I will throw out some, Lord, this is impromptu, like I said. Safety wing. Safety wing is good if you're, especially if you're younger. If you're in your 30s, 40s, the rates are reasonable. If you get up into your 60s, safety wing, the rates are fairly high, I thought. There's another one called Genki. I have not used either of them. I know many nomads, this is supplemental insurance, they use safety wing. I think Safety Wing has two. Safety Wing, if you'd like to sponsor me, and I could do more detailed on this, but they have two. They have the lesser one, which is a supplemental to your American insurance. Then they have a full coverage. That full coverage, the older you get, is quite pricey. Okay. But Safety Wing is a big one, Genki. And then, of course, you can look at like Cigna, but they're very expensive. Once you get into like the American companies insuring you abroad, guys, you're talking like hundreds of dollars a month that I could not do. So let me keep going. But again, really consider, for ladies, consider joining the broad circle. We are meeting tonight. It's only $14 a month. And that's the primary thing, is that we'll meet twice a month. And, privately, and you can make friends, discuss your fears, get advice. Because I've learned, like I said, so much just from talking to the expats that are here in Tirana and in Vlora, which are the two places I've been. I also visited Permet, which is called like the town of flowers. And I really quite liked Permet, but it was a very small town, but it was very well kept, very green, and I really like that. I don't know about living there year round. Yeah. Okay. Let me keep going. Let's see. Jackie says, my apartment in Lisbon is 9th floor from back, but 2nd floor from the front. Jackie, that's the other thing. I am on a floor that's higher than the floor I thought, because again, in Europe, guys, again, basic thing, which I knew, but I forgot. When I was in Tirana, it said first floor. It was not, it was the first floor to them. It was the second floor, and it had a spiral outdoor staircase that I had to drag my rolling luggage up and my backpack at night in the dark. In the dark, because they didn't say to me, and they were lovely, but they didn't say to me, there's a light switch. How would I know that? I arrived and it was gated. You open it, where I see trees, it's dark. I see a peak of the sky, and I'm like, oh my God, I had to navigate in darkness with, of course, my phone flashlight up to the second floor, which they called the first floor. Be aware of that, any of you with mobility issues. That's a real thing, because even here, this is a floor higher than I would have done, but it's listed as a lower number because it is to them. Okay, but not to an American. But Jackie, I don't even get that. It's the ninth floor from the back, but the second floor from the front. I don't. So it's on a really, 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 really steep hill. I don't get that. I don't get that. I could see a one or two floor difference. She says she's in the process of relocating. First appointment May 6th. Relocating to Lisbon or relocating from Lisbon to somewhere else. Mhm. Hey, hi, Fareed Mariam. You just logged in? Hey, this is a completely impromptu live. I'm talking to the computer because that's where I see myself and I have a sense of like another person and I can see your comments, but you guys are up here. Okay. Question. Thanks for putting the three Qs in front. What is your three favorite Albanian dishes? Um, well, honestly, the fresh fish, I just raved about it. Um, I'm not going to say the restaurant though at this point, but I will when I do more of a compilation video. But I would say like fish because it's Vlora where I am right now, seaside town, and you guys, you can see the fishermen. They tie a canoe. It's not a canoe, but it's wider than a canoe. I don't know what that's called. I think it does have like one little motor, and you see them go out early in the morning, and then I don't crowd around because it's local Albanians, and you can see when they come in with their catch. I see a group of like 10 Albanians around, and I can tell they're like it looks like they're buying their fresh fish. This was the best. It was just grilled fish. It was delicious. It was flavorful. Oh, I do have one other thing. I do have one other thing for Reed. Um, I tried, so I am mostly plant-based. In the US, I'd eat meat like once a month because I never cook meat. But if I go out and my body's craving it, and I'm like, oh, it seems pretty healthy, I'll try. But you guys, they have, I think they just call them meatballs, but picture to an American, they'd be like, they're like this big. It was like a hamburger. It was the best meat of my life. I am telling you. And it was a fast food place in Vlora, but it said homemade meatballs. But so picture flattened meatballs. For some reason, they flattened the meatballs. It was so good, you guys. It was so flavorful. They had put like spices or something in it. I think I saw like a little green pepper. It was served with a big salad. Like it came with a big salad. It was like four little meatballs, but smushed, like four kid-sized hamburgers, I would say. And served with tzatziki, the yogurt sauce, which is like a Greek Albanian thing. And it was served, and I got French fries. The best meat I remember having in my entire life. I'm in my 60s. Okay, that's how good it was. Um, so I don't know what that dish is called, but it was just like traditional meatballs, Albanian meatballs. Like that's a thing, or they look like sausages, I think, but made like from their fresh meat. It was definitely not a frozen thing. This was not like a frozen, of course, McDonald's. It was freshly made. Somebody made that by hand. It was delicious with the tzatziki sauce. I just ate it up. I felt very nourished. I had no abdominal issues. That's also kind of common for me sometimes with certain American food. So I do want to praise that in terms of Albania. Of course, it depends on cleanliness and the animals and all of that. But this, like I said, was the best, most flavorful meat I have ever had in my life, bar none. And the fish. Other than that, I have, oh, and the barek. which is the one I always get is the spinach one. Delicious. Literally, they're selling them for 100, 1 lek. Yeah, not 100 lek, 1 lek, which is the equivalent of like an American dollar, but with the dollar tanking, maybe $1.25 for this big pastry. It's like a pastry dough with spinach, and I think it might have cheese, but if it has cheese, it's minimal. Like I think it has cheese, but it's not gooey cheese. It might be like a feta or something. Delicious, could fill me up for a meal for 1 lek. I'm finding coffee, but again, the traditional, their coffee, which would look like espresso to us, with a splash of milk, absolutely delicious. 70 cents. Now, that's the lowest. Most places it's like $1, like 1 lek. I go to the really, really local places where the old men are sitting there smoking, and they look at me, and I nod to them, and I smile, and they're like, "Why is she smiling?" And they're having their coffee and the cigarette, and it's 70, like, points. It's 70 cents, 70 lek, which is probably about 85 cents for a strong, that's all you need, a strong coffee. Anyway, so you can tell I'm excited about these things because you could conceivably just have the coffee to wake you up and just have barek all day, and that would be like you spent $5. Like if you were super, super, super budget, get some eggs, have an egg. Actually, I did that for one breakfast. It was so good. I just made a fresh egg, beautiful orange yolk, really fresh out of the bird. Had an egg. I cooked it up with a barek, and it was delicious. And that was my breakfast. Anyway, I rave enough. What are the bad things? What are the bad things? Okay, I'm going to answer your questions because I still have to make real videos on this. As a single woman wondering if I feel safe walking home from dinner. Absolutely, solo traveler. Everybody said that. Everybody's like, oh, I go home from a club at 2. I'm in my 60s. I'm not trying to go home from a club at 2 in the morning. As Rashida Dow said, nothing good happens in the streets after about 10. I kind of agree with that. But in Albania, how late have I been out? Probably was about 10:30. Not very late, but I do feel like the children are still out, the families are still out. So it would, anything can happen. Um, but it feels safe. Um, of course, there's probably pickpocketing, like petty crime, like anywhere in terms of grabbing a purse or something, but I have not seen nor heard from any expat about that. You're more likely to be cheated monetarily, maybe in a transaction, or overcharged. The gringo tax, black gringo, white gringo, they don't care. Okay. Um, as I said, that only happened to me once so far. I was very upset about it. Like I said, will not say the store. It happened here in Vlora. I was going to feature the store. I was so friendly. I was so warm. I was so open, as you guys can tell I am, and oversharing with the person. I was going to feature them, film to do that, and I still feel, and as I said, other Americans shared with me that they had the same thing happen to them. And so obviously I'm not going to feature them. And they may be watching because they decided, even though I said it's mostly for women, and I could just tell they weren't like particularly interested in that, but I'd said, hey, I would feature you because I was so enthused at first. But I'm not going to name the store, but I'm not going to feature them as a place to visit for any reason. Like I said, it was just an issue of being overcharged. And others also have shared that very particular store, it's a very common feeling. Some were able to just walk out because they found out what the charge would be, and they're like, oh, I'm not paying that much for this. So like I said, it really upset me because I am on a very tight budget. I do think, of course, many countries in the world, they see American, they're like, oh, you're rich, not realizing that, especially if it's a country of lower cost to an American, you're getting often a more budget traveler or a retiree that may or may not have the fantasy income that they envision. Anyway, nobody wants to feel cheated or anyway. So yeah, guys, it was just very upsetting to me. But yeah, some esports says Albania is super safe. Yeah. Safety wing will, yeah. Well, D Walker, as I said, once you get into your 60s, yeah, I didn't say the cutoff, but absolutely no. You need to look at like real insurance, not nomad insurance. If you are, I believe it's over 65 or 64. D, if you know, but yeah, 170, she's saying it's 70. Yeah. Safety wing, as I said, the prices are great if you're in your 30s and 40s. 50s, of course, so it's getting higher as you age, like any insurance, but at a certain point in the 60s, I believe they stop. Yes. I found out a lot. Sagittarius, hey, 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 hey. Listen, those meatballs, I am a plant-based person. I eat raw kale salad, okay? Which some people hate, and they're like, ugh, ugh. I like broccoli. This was the best meat I ever had. I literally have on my phone what this actually, I wouldn't mind. Right, I'm using the phone. Um, what is the app they use here? Oh, it's an app I had not heard of to order food. I want to say the dish was probably about $8. No, it was probably more than that. I think it was under $10 or with the conversion about 10. And I said, you know what? I will order this again. Like I said, big salad came in, the aluminum tin, but a very substantial fresh salad, lettuce, tomato, onions, with like a light vinaigrette. It was delicious. Literally 4 or 5 of those flattened meatballs this big and this thick, with the tzatziki, and then the, what else did I say? Oh, and I ordered French fries to meet the minimum. I think just the meatballs would have met the minimum. It was so good, you guys. Like I said, no reaction. My body kind of tells me if the food was a little bit like not clean or too fatty. It was not fatty. Slept well, woke up feeling well. I'm definitely ordering again. If I can, I will, when I do a Vlora video, I will shout out that restaurant. Absolutely. So I'm putting up your comments on the screen. Hopefully you're seeing that. Fareed Mariam says, I'm coming. Seriously, the barek alone, I felt if you are a normal to lower appetite person, a barek could fill you up because they're big. I think they have meat ones. I have not tried the meat bareks. I'm trying to get higher quality meat. And like I said, the fish at this restaurant, delicious in Vlora. I saw the kid go get the fish, which I thought was hilarious. Like the fish wasn't sitting in the back. I ordered the fish. He ran out, and I was like, he went the wrong way. And he came back, and I realized, okay, he had just gotten the fish. Took a while to make it. It was fine. Served with a like I said, a balsamic vinaigrette. And the second time I went, what they didn't do before, they had like almost like a what do you call it with avocado? Like an avocado little side paste he had made. It was delicious. I think it's whether he had the avocado or not. Okay. I don't think the dishes are so standardized. And grilled veggies. It was so good. Really, really good. Is Albania critter friendly? What do you mean critter friendly? If so, who are they? I have not seen a water bug or a cockroach. I swear to you, I would tell you, I would probably film it after going, and calling the Airbnb person. That happened to me in Italy. Watch one of my videos about that. Or it might have been a member video. Girl, I freaked out. I killed a water bug, which is called blatta. Blatta in Italian. The one Italian word I will never forget other than ciao, blatta. And the nonna comes in. She was really short, like the stereotypical, she wears multiple layers. Sometimes think she wraps her head. This is in Italy I'm talking about. And she says to me, she says, like, show me, or she indicates, because she spoke very little English. She was really sweet. She indicated she was at the door, and I think she had her hand on her hips. And I pointed to it, to the blata, and she says, is dead, is dead. And I says, yeah, I killed it. It's dead. And she literally said something like, well, what's the matter? It's already dead. Guys, I thought that was hilarious. At the time, I was like, I gave her a side eye, like, I was like, well, I'm not going to pick it up because I'm like, I'm paying for this, whatever. It just, not even I'm paying for this, but I was like, why is there a cockroach? Now, I had found it. I think I had, no, it was crawling a little bit. Anyway, the younger girl, the next generation down, again, this is in Italy, immediately comes in. I hadn't even said, I just had said there was a cockroach. She immediately is like, let me get, she picked it up with a tissue. But the older lady's like, gave me this, like, I'm trying to do hands on hips, you can't really see. She had her hands on her hips like, well, if it's dead, what's the matter? And I'm like, listen, no, we're not rolling like that. We need to figure out. And they were so nice, and they did convey to me that we had fumigated before you came. And I believe them because, like I said, the roach was barely alive and it was in the bathroom. And it was the only one I saw the entire month. I stayed a month slow traveling. But in Albania, to answer your question, I have not, yeah, knock on, I need some wood. I have not seen a roach. There is one thing I will mention in this live. I'm giving away all the secrets I was going to talk about. Not secrets, but what I was going to talk about in the filmed video. There is an issue that I think a lot of the YouTubers have not mentioned. Two of the apartments I've been in, even this apartment that is very nice, I can tell it would be considered definitely a middle class building. There can be a sewer smell that comes up in the bathrooms. Okay, guys, this is the second apartment this has happened, and also in speaking to Atara, she pointed out to me, she goes, that's kind of everywhere and also definitely in the streets. So Rashida Dow, in talking about Mexico, this is where I first heard it on my radar. She said in apartments in Mexico, oftentimes through the drains, you will get a sewer smell. And I think, you guys, it's because, again, in the US, because of the standards we have in most places, still not every place, right? If you're really, really poor, you might not have this in the building. But there's like something, I think it's like a flap so that gases from flushing the toilet do not back smell. Okay, you guys, I'm giving you the down low here. Okay. But since I've been in Albania, definitely when you're walking, you can get a strong sewer smell out in the street. But even in the apartments, it's happened in two of the three apartments I've been in. There were times you will get a very strong sewer smell. And it tends to be, let me think, in this better place where I am, it'll happen at night. So I don't know why. Um, But like I said, apparently this happens in Mexico City too. Okay. So a lot of YouTubers are not talking about that, but that is a real thing here. It's not necessarily the fault of the landlord. It's coming up through it doesn't seem to come up through the toilet. Not that I'm in there sniffing around, but I mean, I'm like, where is this? Because I'm a Virgo. Where is this coming from? I think it's either through the shower grate or through where I am now, the whole bathroom is often, you guys, a uni shower, meaning they often have a drain in the whole bathroom where if the shower were open, it would drain. And so it seems to be coming through that. But yeah, definitely a sewer smell. Don't get mad at the Airbnb person or the apartment owner. It seems to be a systemic thing about how they're built. So I think that was your question with the critter friendly. I think you were being, trying to be careful. If so, who are they? I have not seen any mice either. I have not seen any mice. Okay, I'm still looking. So I think I'm okay. Like I said, I'm supposed to talk to someone. Um, Somebody wrote me, and I'm not sure if they're trying to sell me something. I'm so proud of you. Okay, please don't change. Oh, that's nice. Somebody named Norma wrote me a very nice email to my quietbroadabroad@gmail.com. So thank you for that. I don't know. I went there because, as I said, I'm supposed to have an appointment with someone, Lucille, but I think she's here. So yes, thank you for this. 100 lek is €1. Right. Yes. That's how I got messed up, esport. You guys, this lek conversion, what they're saying is right. So €100, you move the decimal point over 2. So 100 lek is like €1, except the dollar is getting its you know what kicked. So in dollars, I would say 100 lek. I'm not looking it up. I'm just going to guess. €1 is probably like $1.25. So don't be fooled by the euro conversion because it's going to cost you more in dollars. Okay. But yes, literally remove 2 zeros from lek and you convert it to euro. Yes. It used to work really well for the dollar. It doesn't work as well anymore. And of course, the bigger the amount, the further off it's going to be, guys. So if you're spending a big amount of money, what one of the ladies advised that I told you I met, she literally does shop with her conversion thing out and she'll do the full conversion. There's another person taking their life into their hands, writing the whatever that is up in the air. Thank you guys. You're so funny. Egg break and coffee sounds. Barack. Yeah. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. Coffee, like a strong, small espresso with a dash of milk or a little more milk, but not Americana. I'm getting this. It's so good, you guys. You literally have 3 sips and you're like, and you feel, I have not, their coffee here in Albania, whatever they're doing to process it, does not affect me as like American coffees or coffee shops. But I am just having the little cup. It's delicious. You sip it, and you're ready to go, but you don't feel like hyperactive maniac. And that is 70.70 lek. So under a dollar. That's absolutely average. Obviously, if you go to a tourist spot, you're going to pay more. It was the same in Italy. That same coffee was also under like €1 because I think it's just cultural. Like you're going to have coffee. It is affordable. Okay. And I love that. I appreciate that. And the barek, like I said, a dollar. If you go to a tourist place, it's probably going to be, it's going to be 2.50. But again, it's this huge pastry filled with spinach or other fillings. It's delicious. All of the YouTubers rave about it. It's wonderful. It's enough to get you going. Brek? Am I saying burek? Brek? I'm messing it up. Love hearing that regarding the food. Yeah. Yeah, the meat, my body had no negative reaction to the meat that I could discern. Of course, as I said, it's served with that yogurt. So think about that. I'm always with cultures. I try to eat the food in the way that the culture would, meaning if you're in Japan, there's a certain way they're having maybe their meat, but they're having it with seaweed, for example, very much, right? Or if you're having Thai food, there are certain combinations that evolved over thousands of years. So I try to eat the food within the cultural context. It just makes sense. Nidra, yay! Did you become a new member? Awesome. So in about 5, 6, 7, 8, in about 3 hours or 3.5 hours, I'm supposed to meet with the members. If you become a channel member for ladies, we are meeting today. Look at the post. The post will give you the Zoom link and it will tell you the timings. It is either 8 or 8:30 Central European time, CET time, which is what Albania is in. It's the same time as like Rome. London is an hour behind us. And then if you're way on the east, on the west coast of the US, you're the furthest behind that most of my members would be. So it will be kind of in the middle of the day yeah, for you. Okay. But if you become a member, so welcome, Nidra. Here, let me put you up. Thank you. We're going to meet twice a month. It's not an obligation. So I don't want you to hear like, oh, I'm not going to join because I don't know if I can do it. I think it'll absolutely be worth the money. Like I said, a lot of women were connecting about Albania. Let me put this down, guys. They were connecting about Albania. Oh, that's much better. That's much better. Why'd I have it up like this? It looks like you see me much better with that down. They were trying to connect in the chat, but obviously nobody's going to put their phone number on a YouTube video out to, the public. But a lot of you are wanting to visit Albania. So maybe you can find somebody who you can meet up with in Durres. Oh, I got gossip about Durres. Okay, believe me, like I said, the American expats I met, they were like, ask me a question. I could tell you, this is a resource, da 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 da. So I do want to encourage you, male, female, whatever, as my mother would say, black, white, or indifferent. Did she say indifferent? My mother had this weird phrase that made no sense. She's Jamaican. We have phrases that you just have to know. Anyway, Americans will help you. Back to me going up to this random woman in the supermarket. She turned, she's like, oh yeah, I'm American. We started talking. We talked for about 10 minutes. And I only left because I was thirsty and there was some other reason I didn't keep talking to her. She's the one who told me about the great restaurant where I got the grilled fish. And she told me, don't shop in here. And I said, well, why are you here? Because that's how I am. I'm like, well, why are you in here? And she says, it's convenience. She goes, this, because I said to her, this is what I said to her. Once I figured out she was American, I go, this store is not cheap. I know I'm not supposed to say the C word, cheap. But, you know, and she goes, no. She goes, no, it's not, but it's convenient. She goes, yeah, this isn't a good store for you to necessarily shop. And I'm like, why are you here? And that's when she's like, well, it's so convenient. You know, it's right around the corner, but they know that. Listen, I got a bag of spinach. When I tell you the head of the spinach was this big, okay, and the base of it, like, you know, the roots part, a bag of spinach for, I want to say 50, not 50 lek, 0.50 lek. In my head, 50 cents, but really probably 65 cents. Now, I still have some of it. I think you should eat it in 2 or 3 days. Their stuff is not preserved, okay? This woman had probably grown that spinach. And I conveyed to her, I thought I was telling her it was too much, but I still ended up with this, like a bag, a little shopping bag of spinach for like 75 cents. Now I hit the local area because that's how I roll, which is why I'm not the cheap broad abroad. I'm the quiet broad abroad. I took the bus, which was 40 cents Albanian. So translated to dollars, I'm probably paying about 60 cents for the bus in Vlora. I took it into the local neighborhood. I wanted to look around. I wanted to see off the tourist strip. The tourist strip, again, because you folks had asked me, it's just restaurants. There are supermarkets and restaurants. I'm having a real hard time finding produce. I'm not the only one saying it. Because on the lungomare, where it's tourists, they figure the tourists are going to eat the restaurants. They're not going to cook much. So there are a couple of supermarkets dotting it. But the typical Albanian town where there's the older lady with her produce, even like just laid out, you know, on her little table on the corner, that's harder to find unless you go into the local areas. Because again, they're so focused on the tourist that on the whole lungomare, I would say between where I am and getting to the center of it, there was one fruit and veggie stand, which is very unusual. And I don't like that because I eat mostly fruits and veggies. So that has been very challenging for me. And again, just to put a cap on it, the supermarkets don't tend to sell produce. For those of you who don't know, in Albania, which is what I like, the fruit and veggie is separate. Often the meat is separate, but in Vlora, because it's so tourist focused, it's, you know, that you will find meats in the supermarket more, but not the produce. The produce is not incorporated as much. You'll find a little bit of produce, but then it's not very good because it's not like specifically the produce seller, if that makes sense. Anyway, loving sharing the info with you, the intel. Wow, you're up to 28 people now. I don't think, oh, Europats. Hey, Europats. Gosh, I'm cut off again. Guys, oh, there you are. Europats. I have shared a lot. I know you guys aren't in Albania yet. I've shared all the tea. We say like all the tea on Albania. Power cuts, getting stuck in the elevator. All I'll say is it was another YouTuber who told me about getting stuck in the elevator and scared the crap out of me because they were stuck for 10 minutes in the dark. And yeah, luckily they were alone. They weren't stuck in a small elevator with another person, Europats, because that's a whole other. Nidra says, I can recall the smell in Kuwait. Yeah, I think it's quite common in these countries. I've heard even in Southeast Asia, I forget which country, you're walking on the street, you will get a sewer smell. Not everywhere, not all the time, because that would be hard for me, but you'll just get a whiff and you're like, okay, human beings eating and pooping, right? In America, we're more insulated. I live in Asia and that smell comes up through the shower drain. Yes, yes. Okay. Solo traveler, thanks for sharing that. And again, I won't remember where you really live. You'll have to tell me in each, but thank you for that. That's what I thought. It comes up through the shower drain, and I think it's a simple, it's not that simple, probably. It's a flap that's supposed to prevent back gassing, right? Like stuff gives off gases, and it's supposed to stop it. But I think it's expensive. Yeah, I think it's expensive. Right. So you can be in a nice place and you still have that. Okay. Thanks for sharing that info regarding sewer smells. Yeah. Bugs. No, nothing, Lucille. Nothing. I have not seen anything like just today as the weather is warming up, guys. I've started to see it may be wasps, but I don't want to scare anybody. I can't tell if it's bees or wasps. I think I've seen both and I'm quite high up. But I don't freak out. I don't freak out about bees. I really believe that they kind of sense that even through smell or heat. So I try to stay really calm. But Lucille, no, I have not seen. Lucille, will you tell me if you booked your appointment? We're supposed to have a half-hour chat because I have to get off here to talk to her. That's so funny. Because I don't think I saw a notice come through, or maybe you booked it for the upcoming week, Lucille. Oh my Lord. No, I have not seen geckos. I have not seen lizards. Mosquitoes. I mean, I've seen like a few, but it's definitely not like it's not like that. Believe me, I would tell you. I would complain. Hi, Dan from Schengen. It's so cool to see all these um, and I keep looking down because again, here, let me show you. Hopefully we won't detach. Because that's where it's like I see all that activity. So I keep forgetting to like talk up to you. And I'm an okay, there we are. Dan from Schengen, welcome. Just got here. A year ago, the dollar and the euro. Thank you, Dan. No, because Dan, I had it figured out. I would hear Albanian money and I'm like, just move the decimal point. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work for the dollar. And it's those of us who really are on a tight budget, it's a bit scary. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, thank you for that. I know they were almost equal because I remember it worked. It was like 3 cents off. And I'm like, okay, it's $1.03. That's fine. Um, yeah. What can we do? What can we do? No, it's not Vivica, it's Viv. It's Viv. Matching birthdays for happiness. Wow, so many people here. This is crazy. America, yes, Nidra. That's what I'm telling you. I mean, it does make me more lively, the coffee here. It's no joke, but you don't get like, ugh, ugh, ugh. I always say that I can't drink coffee is what I would say to people because I become like a New York City cab driver. I would. In the past, I'd be like ready to like, what? Don't you do like this? Like I would. This coffee doesn't do that. Now, I don't know if it literally is because it's strong, but you're drinking a small amount. Like they figured it out. They have figured it out, and I only have one. I don't need to have like at 2 in the afternoon have another because then I would be hyper and like I don't need that. I also drink a lot of matcha, which by the way, well, I shouldn't say you can't find it here. I turned somebody onto matcha. I don't think he's watching, and somebody I met a Brit, and we were so happy to speak English to each other. We're like became fast friends. Introduced him to matcha, and he loved it. And we're trying to find matcha in Vlora, Albania. Now, I do think I saw a latte, but the person was fasting, so they didn't want the milk in it. And I'm like, well, I gave him some of my matcha, but I'm like, this is expensive. Okay, I only give you a half teaspoon. And that was it. And the next day I gave him some more, but anyway. So Europat says hi. Hey, who's my Pogradec dude that I watch? I watch the Pogradec dude. Oh, not Paul. His name's not Paul. What Europats? What's his name? His name in Pogradec. Patrick. Patrick and Pogradec. I watch him. I like his walkabouts of Pogradec. Also, the young woman I interviewed, who was here in Vlora, she loves Pogradec. She has made me think about maybe looking at Pogradec. She said, Viv, and again, this is, Vlora, ocean, but Pogradec is much smaller, and it has a lake, Ohrid, I believe it's pronounced. She's like, oh, the peacefulness. She loves it. She loves it, loves it, loves it. And she's from Atlanta. So Pogradec, the woman though who I interviewed who left Albania found Pogradec a little small. So you kind of guys, you have to really research and then you have to know yourself. She was in Pogradec over the winter and found it too small. Atara did not stay through the winter. So again, so you really have to think about the YouTuber's advice and just really think like, is this person speaking from what experience? Are they a city person? Are they a loner? Are they, what are their needs and does it match my needs? So yeah. Barek is 80 lek. Lying. Okay, but your coffee is 150. Oh, our double size. Yeah, Dan, no, double size I could see being 150 lek, but I don't need the double size. But your Barek is only 80 lek. Get out. What is PNW? I have no idea what that means. Lucille says Pacific Northwest time? Is that? Yeah, Pacific Northwest time. Lucille, if you're using my calendar, anybody, you can book an appointment. I may as well make a plug while I'm here with Lucille. Lucille, it has it in your time. So book in your time and it converts it to my time. Okay, it's all automated. It's all automated. Guys, I do recommend the program I made for women. As I said, I'm highlighting solo women, women over 50, because most people move abroad. A lot of times they're a couple and it's easier. It's different if you're a couple, okay? We won't get into it. But so Lucille, yeah, book in your time and it automatically converts it to my time. Yeah. The Modern Silver Nomad. Yeah, hey, we're gonna chat and maybe do if it's a good fit, we'll do a collab because the Modern Silver Nomad, guys, is in Hungary. And I think Hungary, it may suit some people, okay? I believe it's Viktor Orban. Why am I such a geek? It's Viktor Orban. It's a more conservative nation, but having said that, um, it a lot of the people there are not happy with him or how he's expressing what he's doing. That's the sense I'm getting. And they're going to have elections. I think it's very tightly controlled. So I would love to talk to the Modern Silver Nomad about Hungary, about your experience in Hungary. I think it could help a lot of Americans just kind of have a sense of it. Spinach smoothies every day with that price. Oh, right. Girl. Yes. Person. Yes. I mean, again, like I said, that was the local price. I went into a local neighborhood. The lady was so nice. I said, I gave back I was like, this is too much spinach. I'm alone, one person. And I hold up a finger and like, read the finger. So, but yeah, it was 50 cents in lek. 500 lek? No, that would be $5. 500 lek would be $5. Guys, I'm an artist, all right? I have not been Europats, I have not been to Durres, but I know you guys check them out. They do really helpful videos. They're doing a lot of research. But my sense is, and again, expats on the ground told me this here in Vlora, Durres is more industrial. Like we know, when you hear industrial, I'm just going to go there, big port ships coming in, big ships. To me also, then I think sailors, and I just think, I'm not trying to besmirch sailors, okay? But I'm a New Yorker, and again, I'm thinking like Brooklyn and like the sea, shipyards. It has a more gritty vibe in places. I just don't know that I necessarily want that. Vlora compared to Durres, my sense is they're both local cities, but Vlora has a little bit more of a tourist presence that comes in and is less like there. I don't see industrial ships. There's been one big ship, you guys, parked, and I'm like, what are you delivering? But along the whole sea coast, it's the water also has been very clean. Let me talk about that. The water in Vlora has been very clean, but I'm not going to lie, the beaches are dirty. The sand is dirty in Vlora. And a female expat told me, because I was like, girl, what's up with the sand? It's dirty. And she said, they just cleaned it. And I said, what? She said, yes, they brought in like bulldozers, like machinery to I guess clean it at that scale. But you guys, I really believe for most Americans would not find the beaches as clean as they would like. A lot of plastic, socks, clothing. Um, I thought they were going to bring what I thought I'd seen about other towns is they bring in like old people who they have the little vest on and they just go through and they clean. And like I said, this woman is like, they did an industrial clean, so this is clean. I don't know, if she's 100%, like I believe her, they did the industrial clean, but I still think maybe they'll let, because it's early, it's preseason. A lot of places are not open yet, you guys. So April in Vlora, it's April 11th as I'm filming this. I can see, I think I got here on the 4th. I can, earlier. I can see the city opening up. It's really interesting. Like nobody in the restaurant, to more people, nobody on the beach, like nobody, because it was cloudy. Like I said, it came in, it was all cloudy, nobody, and now people are on the beach, but nowhere near. The umbrellas are not up, the tables aren't up. So I recommend coming around this time because the prices are lower and it's already really nice. You saw when I showed you. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot enough for you to be in a bathing suit sitting on the beach in the sun. Now the water might be cold to get in, but the beach itself is not as clean as I would certainly like. So I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, wow, there's so many comments. I'm just putting them up. Solo traveler, you're currently in China. Okay. You are a serious traveler. Respect. Cambodia and Macau. Macau, nobody talks about. So, wow. Cambodia is like, Vietnam. Vietnam will be the new Portugal. Actually, what I mean to say, because I want to get credit for this, Albania is just about to be the new Portugal. I don't think it's the new Portugal yet. You guys get what I mean? I know you get what I mean. Like Portugal was so hot, overheated. They're backed up with visas, prices rising. Albania is not in that early stage Portugal discovery yet. And Cambodia, I think, for the general public here, is behind Vietnam in terms of discovery by Westerners. I know it's a great, it's affordable. The people in Southeast Asia. I have no idea what you mean by music with a question mark. Oh, could be Yellow Jackets. You guys are funny. I don't know. Okay, Modern Silver, if you're willing to talk about Hungary, I would love to interview you. Let's talk about Hungary. If you feel comfortable. It's about in an hour. Okay. All right. Thank you, Lucille. All right. Guys, let me check my email real quick. It's why is this not showing it as booked? Oh, okay. Got it. 12:40. Okay. Yeah, it's showing it's 12:45 p.m. your time. What is it in my time? What is it in my time? Guys, hang on. I may have to go because I literally may. For some reason in the email, Lucille, it's not showing me in my time. Hold on. It looks like it's about 6:30 my time. Hang on, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. Because I have a booked. Okay, it's saying it's 6:45 my time. Okay, so we're good. 6:45. Okay, perfect. Guys, I do travel consults. I really only talk about slow travel. I'm not talking about just bucket list travel to go see Cancun. I really feel that Mother Earth needs us to settle. And so that's just my focus, to settle and root in a place, get to know the people, and start to take care of up the place, wherever it is, whether it's Greece, whether it's Zimbabwe, whether it's South Africa, whether it's France. Um, so that's kind of, I could talk with you, I can consult with you about slow travel, um, mostly, and now a bit about Albania, but also just getting ready, making the decision, manifesting it, like getting yourself over your fears. That's really sort of my angle with this. Um, and I think I would trust a YouTuber, just giving general advice, if they live in the country. So, a lot of people, a lot of women are in Portugal now, and they may offer consults, obviously. So they talk to you about Portugal. They're not going to talk to you about France. If they're in France, they can talk to you about France. So yeah, yes. Modern Silver Nomad, let me know. Are you comfortable talking about Hungary while you're still in Hungary? Okay. And Lucille, yeah, look forward to chatting with you. Lucille took my Quiet Exit program, and we're going to talk. And she has that basis, though. The Quiet Exit is how I did it for up to 8 months. It could be longer. I combined house sitting with low-cost Airbnbs, and I just really take you through. It's video mostly. I take you through how I did it. And again, my budget is like $1,100. Okay. It's really, really, really low. I think I did get, 1,100, like my Social Security, and then maybe a little tiny bit from like random things that I do. But any of you, if your budget is 1,200 to 1,500, you could be out of the US absolutely right now, slow traveling on your tourist visa. So that's what my Quiet Exit is about, slow travel without all the paperwork. So kind of Schengen shuffle. I don't necessarily detail the Schengen shuffle. I talk about the UK, and I talk about that you can use in Europe and the UK. Like I hit the UK, I hit France, and I've been to Italy as well. So do check that out. It's only $30. Or if you become a channel member, you get it for free. Okay. If you're among the first 30 women to become abroad, to become abroad. I just love saying that. I don't know why it makes me so happy. The tourist areas are more expensive and not as much food. Exactly, Dan. Yeah. But a lot of YouTubers don't say that, like the basic stuff. And a lot of YouTubers, Dan, what I see is they go to the tourist spots and they're like, this is Tirana. I was in Tirana, like I said, in the student university district. I never saw a YouTuber cover that area. I liked it. I like student areas because the food is cheap. There's always good cafes. It's always kind of cool, kind of funky. So that's one of my tips, is look for the student area. You will feel old though, okay? Because you're seeing all these young, attractive people, okay, who are flipping their hair, okay, as they walk and are just, whatever. So good. Yeah, the small towns have the fresh food variety. Yes. There are some sewer smells outside. Plumbing could have a P trap. Plumbing should have a P trap. Thank you, Dan. I knew it's some kind of trap. But look, I'm an artist and a massage therapist. I don't know. So thank you. It's a P trap. Why don't they put that in? Please put that in, put that in, put that in. Oh my gosh, Nidra. Okay, I'm making you guys laugh. What's this? Lack of produce. Okay, no, Lucille. Again, in the Lungomare, the tourist area of Vlora only. Tirana was crawling everywhere you looked, there was fruit. I mean, it was funny. Like a little old lady would literally have some of her stuff, even sometimes on the sidewalk, but often it would be on a table. Everywhere there was fruit, veggies, everywhere in Tirana. Here I am in Vlora. I'm assuming it would be the same, but because it's so touristy and it's very concentrated, I don't think those little old ladies and little old men, I don't think there's room for them, or I don't know if it's allowed, or they think it doesn't look touristy. Like I said, though, the fresh fish, that fisherman comes in on his boat, and I see the Albanians swarming him. I can't even really see what he's doing, but I saw, he's got his boat bringing in his fresh fish. So that's a good thing about Vlora. You could be in there elbowing the Albanians to like, let me get my fresh fish that you're going to grill, for a reasonable price. So, so yeah, Lucille, I think you'll be fine with that. Patrick, yes, Patrick, definitely. Patrick from Pogradec. Espresso has less no. Really? That doesn't sound right. Why would espresso have less caffeine than regular coffee? Silver Nomad, I think it's just that it's smaller. I mean, espresso isn't the point that it's brewed stronger. I don't know. You're probably right. Like I said, also in Italy, delicious coffee. I got a lift, but I didn't get like jitters, like jitters, like with American brewed Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, all of that crap. Dan says, Dan is educating us about plumbing. Every city has a different vibe. It's not something you can learn from videos. I agree, Dan, but I think to an extent. For instance, I mean, we know Durres is a port city. So if somebody wants a city, they're going to look at a Durres, they're going to look at Tirana. I really was impressed with Tirana. Again, as a New Yorker, saying that, that is high praise. It was a real city. It had neighborhoods. You could walk, but I mean, I felt Tirana was spread out. I was like, this is a big city. There's definitely cafes. There's definitely international people. It's definitely has what you would need to feel like, you're in the thick of things. So Tirana didn't disappoint if you wanted a city. Durres, Vlora, Sarande, I think could contend with each other. So to your point, yes, you'd have to visit them. But I think the videos do help. I do. I think multiple videos, not just one person, like watching Patrick and Pogradec. I know those streets. But yes, you have to go see, does the lake feel good? Do you love it? Is it too small? Frankly, actually, from Patrick, I feel like Poker Deck looks more city than I thought because he's always around the stores and he's like, for his wife, oh, I'm gonna get that for April. I'm like, you shop a lot for April. April gets a lot of gifts. He'll show and he's like, she tells me to walk slower. And I'm like, okay, okay. Um, I think so. I think if you watch like two or three people from a town, you can get a vibe. But of course, I mean, I think if you're an American and you can't do the scouting trip, because I know some of my viewers can't afford that. I mean, I didn't scout Albania. I'm just like, I'm here and I'll make it work. And yeah, if it doesn't work, you try another country, you try another city. But I would say do your research with the videos, but then you need, as I call it, slippers on the ground, sandals on the ground, and to get your vibe. But Vlora definitely does have an expat presence. A lot of YouTubers, when I went into Cafe 1912, I'm telling you, I was like, YouTuber heaven. Some of the people you'd see, were in there. And so that was a lot of fun for me. That was a lot of fun for me. Orban's election is coming. Yes, a lot of unhappiness. Yeah, I'm not saying that, guys. No, I don't think anybody would. Don't slam me as, oh, you're liberal and you're trying to bring that to Hungary. I'm just telling you that I know Silver Nomad is confirming there's a lot. The Hungarians themselves are not necessarily, I mean, obviously some are, but he definitely has some contenders. I'm sure there's great things about maybe what he's done, but there have been other things that a lot of the Hungarians. I have a Hungarian American friend, and she was like, in her back pocket, she's like, well, I could go back to Hungary. She's very fiery, very independent woman, wonderful, wonderful woman. She's probably not watching this, but she is. She's great. And she was not so happy with Orban. And she's like, I don't know that I'd feel comfortable going back, as an American into his regime. But anyway, I don't know. I've never been to Hungary. So I know, I mean, those buildings in, is it so Budapest, so Bud and Pest, right? The are beautiful. The parliament buildings or whatever. I mean, the architecture is absolutely beautiful. Hungarian is a language that you do not play with. You will not learn Hungarian. I am sorry. I follow a girl who really lovely girl. And she speaks like at least 7 languages. At least. She's been learning Hungarian for 5 years, 6 years. And it is one of the hardest languages coming from English. It is quite difficult. So at my age, but anyway, like I said, beautiful country. Um, and if you have Hungarian heritage, but yeah, I can't learn the language. I could probably barely learn how to say hello. Okay, you're comfortable. Okay, cool, cool. Oh, Nidra, the quiet exit. Nidra, are you one of the folks who have gotten it? What? Nidra, okay, guys, I need to take a screenshot. Hold on, be patient. I'm taking a screenshot if I can. Hold on, I'll let my Mac. Nidra, okay, Nidra says the quiet exit course is great. I'm currently doing my first house sit right now. Nidra, I want to talk to you. Nidra, reach out to me at quietbroadabroad at Gmail. If you haven't put a testimonial yet, please do. Within the course, there's a way where you can rate the course. Thank you so much. I would really appreciate that. So she's on her first house sit. Again, for women, men, couples, do house sitting because you can then get abroad. A lot of people want two people. Say they have 3 dogs, or they have a bunch of dogs and they have a horse. They'll be really happy to have a couple so that you guys can split. Maybe, one of you is walking the dogs and one of you is like feeding the horse or whatever. So as a couple, think about house sitting. Okay. I think I'm out of that phase doing house sitting. But it was overall a very good experience. The last couple of experience, which I don't want to talk about yet, I may make a future video. The second to last experience was okay. The very last experience was very challenging. I don't want to get into details about it yet. But I highly recommend it if you are on a budget or even moderate income traveler. For you guys like the Europats, I think you'd love it if you love animals. You can stay in some beautiful homes, beautiful towns, and you can stay for a month. That's one of the things I teach in the course. I always set it for a month. Minimum, I first look for the month-long sits, and the vast majority of them, like one sit I did recently, guys, the people were so nice. Really gave me a good experience. I took excellent care of their dog because they were tracking me. They had a tracker on that dog. Okay. So that dog got walked so much, and it was a retriever. It was a Labrador retriever, the sweetest dog. They let me stay like 4 days after they came back in their Airbnb because and I was like, I'll keep walking the dog and I'll walk the dog once a day. And they're like, oh my gosh, they were so kind. So if you choose wisely, you can really get very kind people. You can also occasionally get some people who are troublesome and who are problematic. Like I said, my very last house sit, I will never say their name because I am a kind person. I'm not trying to do that to them. But my very last house sit, what they have done to me has actually been terrible. And I'm dealing with that right now. Luckily, I was feeling like I was done with house sitting, but you really have to screen people well. Like I said, most people are fine. And some people, occasionally you will get someone who's just very difficult or who says something that is untrue. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say, guys. Like I said, oh, the roaming dog. God, you guys, you have such great questions. I've been talking for an hour and almost 2 hours. I will, though. Yes, I have seen roaming dogs. They're not roaming in packs. I swear to you guys, I got this footage. It is beautiful. You have to see the footage. It's really short. I will put it in a video about Vlora, so watch out for that. The dogs were running in, it was a little overpass of a stream that's going to the ocean. I saw like 3 dogs like running. They looked beautiful. They were happy. They were not being chased. They were not skinny. And they even stopped, the 2 front dogs, and kind of turned. And because I can have a really quiet presence with animals, so I didn't disturb them. I was up on the little bridge watching them filming. They were running, they were playing, and they turned and looked for their buddy. And then he came kind of out from under me, and they like ran towards the ocean. They were living their best dog lives. I wouldn't lie to you. Now, you see some dusty looking dogs just laying on the sidewalk. They're just like laying there. One of them today came up to me. I didn't have any food. They do not look skinny. They look like normal, not fat. You do not see an Albanian dog that looks overweight. So that will tell you something. I do believe people are feeding them, but in a group manner. They are street dogs. One of the women I met told me about they raised money for one of their street dogs who they knew, I think, had been hit by a car. The Americans raised money, got the dog to the vet. So she literally knows the dogs in her area and they're known to people. I think it's overstated, but having said that, me and my new British friend twice were menaced by dogs. And I don't want to tell the story because it's a good story. I'm going to save it for my other video. But I was scared. I'm not going to lie. We were in a car. We drove into a town. The dog was barking at the car, but and coming at the car, fangs like bared. It wasn't, I mean, you see dogs barking. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like you're here and I'm letting everybody know. It was like if you got out of the car, I would bite you. I'll tell the full story because I can't help it. Later that same day, because we went to look at like a landmark, some sulfur springs. We came back in the town. The same dog, you guys, because it was a white dog, I remember it. The same dog was literally like tired. And my friend said, yeah, he's tired from menacing people. No lie, I'm telling you the full story. So this is about 4 hours later. The same dog literally walked by the car and I was still scared. And my friend had the two car doors open on his side. And I was like, get in the car, close the door. And the dog just walked right by and the head was down. It looked exhausted. And then there was another incident with a dog also seemed very aggressive. And I have heard people who have been bitten by them. So I was scared, but so far, I don't know if they're neutering them or doing worse to get them off the streets. But two menacing dogs, and I've been here about 3 weeks so far. And a lot of those other street dogs are just tired and they're just laying there, like living their best lives. And you know. So certainly haven't seen anybody beating dogs. I haven't seen packs of roaming dogs because that was my fear. I have not seen that. And I have walked a lot because, again, being a budget traveler and a fitness person, I try to go for long walks. So I've not seen roaming packs of dogs. I have seen individual dogs that were menacing, but I got in the car in both cases. I don't know if I'm making a good case for this, guys, because espresso goes through the machine faster. Oh, okay. No, I believe you because it explains why when I have an espresso, I don't feel as like hyper caffeinated. Thank you, Nidra. This is so much fun, guys. Okay, there are stray dogs, but they're mostly well fed. That's what I'm trying to tell people, Dan. And well behaved and taken care of. We haven't seen a mean one yet. Exactly. That same dog that was menacing us, and we were really close to some locals. The locals didn't even seem to hear the barking. They were sitting at a cafe, no reaction, not even like a look. I literally think it was because it was a car from out of the town. This was in Permet. This was in Permet. We drove into Permet. A dog met us, and the dog was like, "You people are not from here," and it just really acted aggressively and started coming towards the car. My friend, like I said, who is a man, he put his window up and he's like, "Oh, blank," right? And we're like, "Okay, windows up." Same dog exhausted a couple hours later from barking at all the people. Yeah, they're group fed. It doesn't fit the American concept of a dog being a beloved member of the family. I'll end the stream with this thing. I definitely noticed this. It's a status symbol. It's a status symbol to be walking a dog because it's atypical. So I got the sense that some were definitely foreigners, but some I think were local who are, if you're walking a dog, that means you have enough money to feed a dog, care for a dog, and that you have a certain attitude about animals. And so even in Tirana, I got that same sense that there is a very subtle shift towards animals, a dog being a pet, being in your home, versus the more traditional Albanian of, I guess it's in the yard, it's an outdoor animal, it's dirty, it's not a clean animal type of thing. But definitely, I immediately, if I see somebody walking a dog, I check them out because I'm like, they're probably foreign. Maybe they speak English or German or Dutch, probably, if not English. And in both those cases, they also speak English so that's what I've noticed about the dogs. I wouldn't worry about it excessively. Um, I know for some true animal lovers, they feel they don't like that. But again, I think there are benefits to dogs being communally owned. This is what I said with my friend about that dog that was barking at us. I said, what I've noticed though is, in the US, if the owner dies or has to give the dog away, the dog is going to go to the ASPCA and, maybe euthanized or can't find a home. What I've noticed in Albania is these street dogs, if four people feed the street dog, if one person dies or moves, the dog still, it literally is like a community ownership. And I actually think that's more beautiful in a certain way. And like I said, these dogs that I shot the video of were running free like they were a band of wolves through the water happily and playing. And I was like, okay, this is how dogs are when they're not domesticated by man, right? They're just out looking for food, hanging out, they're sleeping, and whatever else, and they're just living their dog lives, which is very strange for an American or a Canadian or a Brit because we don't see that normally. So I found it fascinating. I really did. I found it fascinating. All right, there's still 27 of you here, but I have been live for 2 hours. Really enjoyed it, you guys. I will set a regular time that I'm going to go live. Your questions were awesome, and hopefully you'll still watch the videos. I am going to make videos on Tirana. The reason it takes a while, guys, is we record footage, but then we got to go edit it and just clip it together, make it look nice, weave the story in. So I definitely have videos on Tirana. I had done a live, but I want to show you parts of Tirana, talk about it. And I will be doing a video on Vlora, where I am, from a perspective more of someone who is not living here, but not dashing in as a tourist, showing you all the pretty buildings, showing you the most pristine place. I want to show it more like you did live here. What is it like? Okay. I think that's what's missing in YouTube right now. And as I said, especially, all are welcome, but my audience mainly is I'm aiming to talk to women over 50 who might be wanting to slow travel, so they're by themselves and it's a little more challenging. We have a little bit more fears, obviously, as women, in the different environments, and so on and so on. Um, so yeah, that's it from the Quiet Broad Abroad. Your questions were awesome. Maybe they'll help me with the videos that I make. And please, if you are a woman, okay, and you want to join the channel, the perk will be that we get to meet, we hang out privately, and you can share your travel plans, your doubts, your fears. It's a support group, okay? Guys, you don't want to be in there. We might talk about menopause. I'm serious. Not really. We'll talk about anything um, that comes up, okay? And so someone just joined, Nidra just joined, and I think literally it's three of us right now. I'll make four or whatever. And so I'm really, it'd be really nice. You can still join. Oh, Mariam Farid. Yeah, I think you put or Farida. I'm sorry, Farida. I just saw, because I'm dyslexic, a lot of it, plus there's no caps, right? So I read, sometimes I'll run the words on. So nice to have you. Thank you for joining. Farida, look in the membership area on the main page of my channel, and you'll see a post that has the Zoom link, and it has all the different times depending where you are. I think I list LA, I list New York. You can figure out from there. I list UK time, and then I list Central European time. I didn't list time in Asia. If you are in Asia, as one person here, solo traveler, mentioned, they're in Asia, you'd have to figure out the time from based on what I shared. So yeah, Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What movie was that? Or what singer? I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.